During the COVID-19 pandemic, many Sri Lankans were depressed with the confinement that the COVID-19 pandemic brought. Many people across the world were depressed. But as far as Sri Lankans are concerned, are we heading into a time where we're not just depressed, but repressed, suppressed, and even oppressed? A very good evening. This is Prime Time News on TV1. The online safety bill got the green light today. We have views expressed by various political parties on what Sri Lanka will be like in the future with this piece of legislation in effect. We've got the details of these stories and much more coming your way tonight. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Naveksha Gunasekar, and here are your headlines for tonight.
74 health trade unions on strike, citing allowance disparity. Minister Kehelia Rambukwella ordered to report to CID on Friday, slapped with overseas travel ban. Group arrested during protest demanding Kehelia's arrest, released on bail. Sorry. Online safety bill gets green light. Speaker endorses certificate. Sri Lanka revises fuel prices. Private bus operators and school transport services call for fare hike. Passport fee increased by 5,000 rupees.
Taking a look at those stories now in detail, 72 health professional associations launched a widespread strike today, bringing hospital operations to a near standstill and causing significant inconvenience to patients.
Now, the strike, which is expected to continue into tomorrow, stems from ongoing demands for equalized salary adjustments for healthcare workers apart from doctors.
The already critical situation in Sri Lanka's healthcare sector has escalated further as 72 trade unions representing a wide range of healthcare professionals have joined the ongoing strike. The latest additions to the strike include laboratory technicians, radiology technicians, pharmacists, public health inspectors, midwives, drug compounders, entomology officers, and others. Today, outpatient and inpatient treatments were severely disrupted throughout government hospitals. While doctors remained on duty dispensing medicine and conducting laboratory tests were significantly hampered due to the absence of supporting staff.
තුන්වෙනින් එක වෙලා කාලා ඉන්නේ. ඇයි මේ අපරාධ අපිට? ඇයි මෙහෙම කරන්නේ? ඊයේ අදාව බෙහෙත් නැහැ. හෙට දැන් සල්ලි නැහැ එන්න බස් වලට.
එන්න විතර රුපියල් 200යි යන්න රුපියල් 200යි. ඉතින් මේ ගානට 3-4 ගමනක් යනකොට මට අන්තිමට කණ්ඩවත් ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ.
අපිට බෙහෙත් ගන්න සල්ලි නැහැ. අපිට මේ මෙහෙන් එන්නේ අර නොමිලේ මේ හම්බෙන හින්දා ක්ලිනික්. ඉතින් ඒ කටිය දිනයක් දුන්නෙත් නැහැ මොකුත් නැහැ. ඉතින් අපි මොකද කරන්නේ ඒකට?
විපත් මිනිස්සුන්ට නැත්නම් අපි වගේ සල්ලි නැති අහිංසක මිනිස්සුන්ට බෙහෙත් දෙන්න ගන්න. ඕක තමයි දැන් රටේ තියෙන තත්ත්වය.
සමාරාම ඉඳලා බෙහෙත් ටික ගෙනියන්න. මේ පිටට දෙන බෙහෙත් ටික ගෙනියන්න. ඒකක් දෙන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉතින් පාමතියෙන් ගෙනියන්න වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ අපිට. සල්ලි කොහොමද ගෙන කවුද දෙන්නේ සල්ලි? අපි මේ මැරෙන්න වැටලා තියෙන දැන්.
In response to the ongoing strike by healthcare trade unions, the Sri Lanka Army has deployed its personnel to various government hospitals across the country today.
බොරු කරන්නේ. ඉතින් රජයේ ගොන් තකදීරුව මේවට දෙන්න ඕන උත්තරයක්.
This morning, a significant number of people flocked to the State Pharmaceutical Corporation outlet due to disruptions in medication dispensing for outpatients at the Colombo National Hospital. Patients reportedly face the need to purchase medications externally, creating inconvenience and potential financial strain.
ඒකලාට දැන් තමයි තුණ්ඩු කෑල්ල අරන් යන්නේ බේත් ගන්න බලන්න පින්නේ ඉන්න පොලිම් බලන්න කොච්චර පොලිමක් ඉන්නවද කියලා.
පොලිම් 3ක ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඉස්පිතාලෙට ගියා ඉස්පිතාලෙත් නැහැ. ඉතින් අපිට තමයි මේ දුප්පත් මිනිස්සුන්ට හැමදේම වෙන්නේ.
Trade unions representing striking healthcare workers have announced their intention to continue the action tomorrow.
The Ministry of Health is being administered in a very conspiratorial manner at this time. The data allowance was provided based on incorrect data. The data has been provided so that it benefits the doctors in high positions at the Health Ministry on a personal level. Information about other health staff in this country has not been submitted. We tried their best to stop this strike today, but we did not get that support from the Ministry of Health. We did not get that support from the Ministry of Finance. We have decided to continue the strike action tomorrow.
ලැබුණේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේ වර්ජන ක්‍රියාමාර්ගය හෙට දවසටත් අඛණ්ඩව ගෙන යාම සඳහා අපි තීරණය කළා තියෙනවා.
Speaking to Newsfirst, Minister of Health Dr. Ramesh Patirana said that the demands of the health workers were previously discussed with the State Finance Minister and the Finance Secretary. He noted that a period of 1 month was requested to consider the matter. The Minister said that he sent a reminder to the Finance Secretary over the matter yesterday as well.
Maligakanda Magistrate Lochana Abevikrama ordered Minister Kehelia Rambukwala to report to the Criminal Investigations Department in Colombo at 9 a.m. tomorrow, that is Friday, to provide a statement.
Now, the statement was made upon considering the submission that was made by Deputy Solicitor General Lakmini Girihagama on behalf of the Attorney General when the case filed over the controversial fake human immunoglobulin procurement was taken up in court today.
Minister Kehelia Rambukwala was informed to appear at the Criminal Investigations Department yesterday to provide a statement. However, he did not turn up. Deputy Solicitor General Lakmini Girihagama told the court that one of the reasons provided by Kehelia Rambukwala for failing to make a scheduled appearance at the CID yesterday was false. She told the court that the Secretary to the Cabinet Subcommittee on Public Expenditure Management had confirmed in writing that Kehelia Rambukwala did not attend the meeting at the President's office yesterday. Taking these facts into consideration, the Maligakanda magistrate imposed an overseas travel ban on the minister. At the same time, the fifth suspect in the case, identified as the warehouse manager of the Medical Supplies Division, was granted bail today. He was released on 2 personal bails of 1 million rupees each, and court also imposed an overseas travel ban on the suspect. The other suspects in the case, including the former Health Secretary Janaka Sri Chandragupta and the owner of the company that supplied substandard medicine, were remanded again until the 15th of February. 9 civil activists who were arrested for protesting opposite the Criminal Investigation Department, demanding for the arrest of former Health Minister Kehelia Rambukwala over the fake human immunoglobulin scam, were released on bail today. They were released on bail after the suspects were produced before the 4th Magistrates Court. Sanjay Mahavatha, another civil activist who was arrested and is currently receiving treatment in hospital, was not produced before the magistrate today.
The Honourable Magistrate clearly said that these are the fundamental rights of these people and that it was wrong to take action against them. Also, he referred to the reason why this protest was held. The reason was because the former Minister of Health had earned billions after giving this substandard medicine to the people, and the CID wasn't arresting him. They went and arrested the people who were demanding that the authorities arrest him. The Honourable Magistrate said that this court is not ready to work like that. He said that all circumstances must be considered. There is one person in hospital and they called for a report on him and he too will be released. The Honourable Magistrate clearly said that there is something seriously wrong. If people who did not bother anyone who were arrested like this, in addition to that, the daughter of Kehelia Rambukwala had filed a complaint against Dr. Chamal Sanjeewa at the Cinnamon Gardens Police. The complaint had been lodged over him bringing a flower or a bouquet of flowers to their home. We went and provided statements regarding the complaint. After we provided our statement to the OSC of the Cinnamon Gardens Police, they allowed us to leave. After allowing them to leave like that, the police informed court that there is another matter against these suspects at the 4th Magistrates Court and for them to be produced for that matter through the Prisons Department. The Honourable Magistrate questioned them as to if they made that statement since they have already presumed that they will be remanded. The magistrate raised this question and the magistrate released all of them.
Remand කරනවා කියලා මේ පූර්ව නිගමනය තියාගෙන දාවේ කියලා ගරු මහේස්ත්‍රාත්තුමා විසින් ප්‍රශ්න කරා. ඒ අනුව අද දින සියලුම පුද්ගලයන්ට අප ලබා දීමක් කරා.
The civil activists who were arrested had been held at the Cinnamon Gardens Police and several politicians visited the police station to inquire into their well-being.
The government is doing this to control the forces that are rising up against the government. This has become a state where the powers of the police are used illegally.
The group was produced before the Colombo Judicial Medical Officer.
They want to continue to hold the government and protect the thieves. Isn't that what Ranil Wickremesinghe is doing? Therefore, I believe that the new Minister of Health should also have a strong backbone.
Meanwhile, a group of parliamentarians from the opposition had visited the Attorney General's department today.
We are reminding the former Minister of Health, who has misused the law with questionable methods, to understand that resorting to such tactics will not offer long-term protection. Facing legal scrutiny is essential. We demand the President to immediately dismiss the Minister from the Cabinet for bypassing proper procedures and misleading the Cabinet regarding emergency medicine purchases.
Speaker
of Parliament Mahinda Apabewardena has endorsed the certificate on the online safety bill.
Speaker Mahinda Apabewardena today endorsed the certificate on the online safety bill, which was passed in Parliament with amendments following the two-day debate held on the 23rd and 24th of January 2024. Accordingly, the said bill will come into effect as the Online Safety Act No. 9 of 2024. Opposition MPs expressed concern that the bill was passed disregarding the amendments made by the Supreme Court in its determination. They requested the Speaker to refrain from endorsing the certificate on the online safety bill until it is confirmed that the amendments submitted by the courts are included. Parliamentarian M.A. Sumandiran commented on the matter.
There is a serious doubt as to whether about 5 items of those recommendations have in fact been incorporated into the committee stage amendments. We are unable to say this for certain until we see a copy of what the Speaker has signed. However, if our suspicions are right, then it creates a very, very serious constitutional crisis in the country.
Media division released a statement on the powers of the Constitutional Council and the President, especially regarding the appointment of the Inspector General of Police.
The President's Media Division issued a statement titled Performance of the Constitutional Duties of the President and the Constitutional Council. The statement noted that the Constitutional Council, which is chaired by the Speaker of Parliament and established under the Constitution, has been empowered to assist the President in making of certain decisions and is part of the executive. It also noted that any restraint placed on the President in the performance of his constitutional duty would be in contravention of the Constitution. Quote,
the President of the Republic of Sri Lanka under Article 4B of the Constitution is the organ of government through which the executive power of the people, including the defence of Sri Lanka, is exercised. The President, as the head of the executive, is duty-bound to make certain appointments to high officers, including the Inspector General of Police, according to the procedure stipulated by the Constitution and in line with the President's constitutional duty to exercise powers pertaining to the defence of Sri Lanka. Therefore, the President must perform his constitutional duties without any impediment or interference. Under Article 41C of the Constitution, the appointment of the Inspector General of Police is carried out subsequent to a recommendation made by the President to the Constitutional Council and the approval of such recommendation by the Constitutional Council. Any restraint placed on the President in the performance of his constitutional duty would be in contravention of the Constitution. If the President exercises his powers contrary to the Constitution, the remedies available have been provided for in the Constitution itself.
Unquote. The President's Media Division in a statement said that the Constitutional Council is duty-bound to perform its functions in the terms of the Constitution. It added that requiring the Constitutional Council to refrain from performing its functions pertaining to the appointment of the Inspector General of Police under Article 41C of the Constitution would be in violation of the Constitution. The statement noted that the Speaker is the head of Parliament and under Article 4C of the Constitution, the Parliament exercises the judicial power of the people through courts. The Parliament is therefore responsible only to the people.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa stressed for the autonomy of the Constitutional Council and the Supreme Court, stating they are not subject to President's control.
ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථා සභාව කියන්නේ පඹයක් නෙවෙයි. එහි සමාජිකත්වයේ පඹයෝ නෙවෙයි. එහි සමාජිකත්වයේ කටයුතු කරන්නේ.
The Constitutional Council and its members are not puppets. Members adhere to a system of checks and balances, aiming to make well-considered decisions. This is to make the best and correct appointments to the key positions in the country. Therefore, the Constitutional Council and the Executive are not the property of the President. I would like to state that they are not puppets to dance to the tune of his words. The Executive cannot influence the judiciary by issuing various statements. That is wrong. The legislature also cannot influence the judiciary. Therefore, we urge the judiciary to operate as per the constitution of the country, irrespective of what is said by the Executive and the legislature.
ඒ නිසා පැහැදිලිව අපි ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා රටේ අධිකරණයෙන්. විධායකයේ මොනවා කිව්වත්, ව්‍යවස්ථාදායකයේ මොනවා කිව්වත් අධිකරණයට අයිතියක් තිබෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණයට අයිතියක් තිබෙනවා. ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවට අනුකූලව රටේ උත්තරීතර නීතියට අනුකූලව ඒ වැඩ කටයුතු ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න.
Leader of the Freedom People's Congress spoke to the media about the matter.
මේ ජාති මාධ්‍යකයේ විසින් අද උදෑසන නිකුත් කරපු නිවේදනය. පොලිස්පති ඇතුළු ඉහළ තනතුරු පත් කරන්නේ
This is the statement issued by the President's Media Division, stating that the President makes appointments to high posts, including that of the Inspector General of Police. Ordering the Constitutional Council to refrain from carrying out its duties with respect to those appointments is a violation of the Constitution. What is happening here? It was they who introduced the 17th Amendment to the Constitution to form the Constitutional Council as a supreme body. Now they are trying to control that body. On the other hand, they are on a collision course with the judiciary. They are disregarding the orders given by the courts and are attempting to summon the judges to the parliament over their rulings. Proposals are adopted in the parliament against the Elections Commission. At the same time, the leader of the government is openly criticizing the rulings of the Supreme Court. They act against those rulings. Now, legislation is not passed as per the directives of the court. They will eventually lead to the creation of a new and dangerous evil. That is issuing orders to the Constitutional Council to refrain from interfering with the executive, and notes that doing so is a violation of the Constitution. We are witnessing the attempts being made to give the power to one person by dismantling the media, judiciary, Constitutional Council, Parliament and all other bodies that uphold democracy. Are we to give power to one single person to decide for the whole population?
තනි පුද්ගලයෙකුගේ අතට බලය දෙන්නද අපි මේ සියල්ල සූදානම් කරන්නේ.
The monthly revision of fuel prices was announced effective midnight yesterday. The adjustments reflect a mixed bag of increases and decreases across various categories.
The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation announced revisions to fuel product prices. Accordingly, Lanka petrol 92 octane was increased by 5 rupees per litre to 371 rupees. That was previously priced at 366 rupees. Lanka petrol 95 octane was decreased by 8 rupees per litre to 456 rupees. That was previously at 464 rupees. Lanka auto diesel was increased by 5 rupees per litre to 363 rupees. Lanka super diesel was increased by 7 rupees per litre to 468 rupees. Kerosene was increased by 26 rupees per litre to 262 rupees. Sinopec also announced revised fuel prices but are selling petrol 92 octane and autodiesel at lower prices than the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Lanka IOC. Accordingly, petrol 92 octane was increased by 5 rupees per litre to 368 rupees. Petrol 95 octane was decreased by 8 rupees per litre to 456 rupees. Autodiesel was increased by 5 rupees per litre to 360 rupees and super diesel was increased by 7 rupees per litre to 468 rupees. This is what the people had to say.
අපිට සන්තෝෂයි. දැන් සැපද කියලා තමයි අහන්න තියෙන්නේ. දැන් අපි දුප්පත් මිනිස්සු කොහොමද සර් ජීවත් වෙන්නේ? හයර් නැති ඉඳලා මෙහෙම ඉඳගෙන ඉන්නේ. මිනිස්සුන්ට මුදල් තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මුදල් තියෙන මිනිස්සු තමයි හයර් යන්නේ. මේගොල්ලන් අර උද්ඝෝෂණය කරනේවා අර ගහනේවට වීදම් මේකින් තමයි අල්ලන්න වෙන්නේ ඉතින්. අර කඳුළු ගෑස් වලට කොච්චර වීදම් වෙනවද කියන්නකෝ.
අපි ඉවරයි. අපිට කර ගියා ගන්න අපේ වීලුත් විකුණලා ඔක්කොම විකුණලා දැන් පයින් යන්නේ.
අයියෝ තියෙන අසාධාරණේ කොච්චර දන්න ජීවත් වෙන්න බෑ.
ඉතින් කතා කරන දෙයක් නැහැ. හරිය.
මේ පාලකයින්ගේ තියෙන දුර්ලකම් හින්දා තමයි අපි මේ වැඩියෙන් ගෙවන්න ඕනේ. ජීවත් වෙන්න විදියක් නැහැ. ළමයි බඩගින්නේ. අන්තිමයි. කියලා වැඩක් නැහැ ඉදිරියේදී මොනවා වෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැ.
Bus associations say that bus fares should be revised in line with the increase in diesel prices.
We will increase bus fares within 2 weeks. This is a difficult decision. If not, we may even have to resort to professional action.
However, Chairman of the National Transport Commission, Shashi Welgamer, urges that the recent fuel price increase is not sufficient in justifying raising bus fares. Will three-wheel fares increase?
Although there is a 5 rupee increase in petrol prices, we want to assure you that we will not be increasing three-wheel fares.
The All Ceylon Inter-Provincial Student Transport Services Association suggests raising school transport fees by 10 to 15%.
We are planning to increase transport fees by 10% to 15%. Our Central Committee has decided to implement a 10% increase for short distance services and 15% increase specifically for long distance services.
The All Ceylon Fisheries Federation said that the increase in fuel prices has had a severe impact on fisher folk.
Is it reasonable for small-scale fishermen who venture out to sea to earn a fish harvest worth 7,000 rupees to 8,000, considering they spend 10,000 rupees to 30,000 rupees per trip? The cost of operating a multi-purpose fishing trawler alone ranges from 25,000 to 35,000 rupees, making it challenging to cover that expense with just one monthly voyage, with a return of only 7,000 to 8,000 rupees in fish. This results in a significant financial issue for multi-day fishing trawlers.
This is the stance of the National Consumers Front.
We are concerned about the fuel price increases in Sri Lanka, even though the Sri Lankan rupee's exchange rate with the USD seems to be decreasing according to the graphs. Historically, this wouldn't necessarily lead to high fuel prices. Therefore, we would like to clarify whether fuel is purchased in rupees or dollars and inquire about the factors contributing to the current fuel price increase.
The Ministry of Power and Energy confirmed that the recent price revision followed the established monthly fuel price formula. The Department of Immigration and Immigration of Sri Lanka announced that the fees for normal passport services will be revised effective today. The new fees for both online and offline applications will be 10,000 rupees, representing an increase from 5,000 rupees. However, there will be no change in the fees for the one-day service. Meanwhile, the fees to transport parcels by train has been increased by around 80% from today. Railways Deputy General Manager N.J. Indipolage said the minimum freight services fee, which was 50 rupees, will increase to 150 rupees.
The Ceylon Electricity Board's Engineers Union has expressed concern over the CEB's rising legal expenses, attributing it to the use of private lawyers against the decisions reached by the country's cabinet of ministers. The CEB Engineers Union raised their concerns with Dr. Sulakshana Jayawardena, Secretary of the Ministry overseeing the CEB, in a letter.
The Ceylon Electricity Board Engineers Union, in a letter to the Energy Secretary, noted that as per a decision reached by the Cabinet, any official within a government institution found to have used public funds to secure the services of private lawyers will be personally responsible for reimbursing the expended amount. They highlighted that despite the regulations, the board continued to utilize private legal services instead of seeking support from the Attorney General's Department in most cases last year. According to the CEB Engineers Union, the CEB spent over 130 million rupees on legal fees in 2022 and 2023 combined. This figure reportedly exceeds the total legal costs incurred by the board over the 6-year period between 2015 and 2021. In response to these concerns, CEB Chairman N.S. Elangakun clarified that the board engaged in private lawyers based on decisions made by the Cabinet of Ministers. He further emphasized that the CEB followed the established procedures mandated for obtaining legal services through presidential directives.
News First with the people.
The Joint Postal Trade Union Front gathered in protest outside the Colombo Post Office headquarters this morning, citing multiple demands.
The Joint Postal Union Front staged a protest outside the Colombo Post headquarters this morning, citing multiple demands including addressing overtime cuts, reviewing allowances as well as filling employee vacancies. The postal workers emphasized they previously communicated these concerns to relevant authorities but haven't received satisfactory solutions.
The Postal Department had a workforce of 27,000 personnel with 8,000 existing vacancies. There are 4,000 vacancies in the junior staff category. Temporary recruits are placed in these vacancies. They are not given permanent positions, and that has led to pension issues as well. This is a government that cannot even provide the bicycle for the postal service. They cannot even spend 70,000 rupees. They say that 20,000 rupees will be issued via the treasury. We do not agree with that. There are 4,000 vacancies for those who passed grade 10. Those vacant positions are not filled and permanent positions are not given. They are living in luxury.
After protesting for around 1 hour, the postal workers dispersed.
The Teachers and Principals Trade Union Alliance held a press conference in Colombo today to express their view on the issue of salary anomalies as well as the payment of A-level answer sheet evaluators.
Chairman of the All Ceylon United Teachers Union, Venerable Yalwala Panyasekara Thera, said the payment of the 2,000 rupee allowance to evaluators for A-level answer sheets has been discontinued.
The 2,000 rupee allowance for officials and evaluators involved in paper marking at evaluation centres has been discontinued, making it difficult for them to cover the daily expenses. Despite being informed, the authorities haven't started the allowance payments or provided an advance. Evaluators at the centres have threatened to stop marking papers starting this afternoon. We urge the government to address this issue promptly for both the evaluators and the students, preventing it from escalating into a crisis. Despite government promises to address the remaining salary disparity in the next budget, this year's budget again neglected the issue. In response, we will be organizing a large-scale protest on the 20th of February involving teachers, principals and councillors from across the Kandy district. The dire living conditions faced by teachers nationwide, including a 2/3 pay gap, requires immediate action.
Welcome back to the news. Former President Maithripala Sirisena, leader of the United People's Freedom Alliance, confirmed the resignation of both General Secretaries Tilanga Sumathipala and Mahinda Amaravira.
Mahinda Amaravira's acceptance of government ministerial positions outside the party's stance led to steps taken for his removal as General Secretary. Tilanga Sumathipala was subsequently appointed to the position. Amaravira contested the decision through legal action, with a court verdict still pending. When contacted by Newsfirst, Tilanga Sumathipala's faction presented a letter expressing his willingness to resign after obtaining court permission to withdraw the ongoing legal proceedings. When contacted by Newsfirst, Mahinda Amaravira indicated an agreement might be reached within the next few days. Former SLFP General Secretary Dayasiri Jayasekara offered his perspective on the situation.
Last week, a meeting took place for the formation of a new alliance. The other parties wanted a leadership council. However, the majority view of the SLPP was that it was unnecessary. They wanted to put forward the existing leadership to the post of leader. Therefore, that alliance is in shambles. They said the alliance is progressing. However, the truth is that we do not understand with whom that alliance is working with.
The Samagi Jana Balavege expressed its views on Tuesday's SJB demonstrations during a media briefing held today.
As the main opposition party in this country, we have a responsibility to lead by example when the government implements policies detrimental to the people. However, if the situation becomes so repressive that we cannot even peacefully protest for basic democratic rights, then the international community will understand that democracy in this country is under threat. Blaming us for any collateral damage under such circumstances is illogical and unfair. When we have a court order, the usual practice is to show it and issue a warning before proceeding. However, in this instance, the authorities deviated from this norm. They skipped the first barrier and fired tear gas at the second, without even installing a gate. Instead of following the usual protocol, they deployed a large contingent of police, including riot squads and STF, to confront unarmed civilians. Never before has an opposition leader experienced such targeted aggression. We urge Malit Samaravikrama, Anurakumara Disanayaka and Ranil Wickramasinghe to investigate and shed light for authorizing this disproportionate use of force. Anurakumara Disanayaka says that they only attack the people we want to attack. He says they don't beat corrupt people if they are their friends. Anurakumara is not afraid to say it directly. In particular, we need to ask Anurakumara Disanayaka how he got such a cover.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
Study in Australia with Edlocate. Visit us on 10th February at the Hotel Galadari.
The Sri Lankan Ministry of Power and Energy announced that it is taking steps to expedite its program for generating electricity from natural gas or liquefied natural gas. In a statement, the ministry revealed that the Indian government, through its state-owned energy giant Petronet LNG Limited, has submitted a preliminary proposal to Sri Lanka. LNG infrastructure development and gas supply to Yugadanavi and Sobadanavi power plants were discussed this morning at the Ministry of Power and Energy.
Red Sea crisis.
The Houthi movement in Yemen says it has struck a U.S. merchant ship it named as KOI in the Red Sea in a fresh attack targeting commercial shipping.
Foreign media reported that the Houthi movement in Yemen says it has struck a U.S. merchant ship in the Red Sea in a fresh attack targeting commercial shipping. A maritime security firm said a vessel operating south of Yemen's port of Aden had reported an explosion on board, but it did not name the ship. Meanwhile, the U.S. has launched new airstrikes in Yemen targeting 10 drones reportedly being set up to launch. According to foreign media, the KOI is a Liberian-flagged container ship operated by UK-based Oceanic Services. The same company's fleet include the oil tanker Malin Luanda, which is damaged by a missile on Saturday. The Houthis regard all Israeli, US and British ships as legitimate targets following Israel's war on Hamas in Gaza and the US and British targeting of Houthi missile positions in what the two countries say are both efforts to protect commerce.
A dozen United States and Japanese warships, including 2 U.S. aircraft carriers, have been putting on a show of military might this week in the Philippine Sea east of Taiwan.
Analysts say the joint exercises show the U.S. Navy can respond to contingencies across a broad swath of Asian waters, where tensions with China remain high, even while facing hostilities in the Middle East. The U.S. Navy aircraft carriers were joined by the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force helicopter destroyer, 7 U.S. guided missile destroyers, and 2 U.S. cruisers for what the Navy calls a multi-large deck event. According to a U.S. Navy statement, the U.S. and Japan are uniquely capable of rapidly assembling multiple large deck naval forces in support of mutual security interests in the Indo-Pacific. It added that the dozen warships conducted defense drills, sea surveillance, cross-deck exercises, and tactical maneuvers to advance unique high-end warfighting capability.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1 for tonight.
Thank you for watching.
Good night.